Hey guys, today we're going to be doing What If Raditz Turned Good? So when I say Raditz turned good, you might be thinking, well, how? It just doesn't make sense. You might be thinking that. Well, the way he turns good is he, everything goes as normal up until Raditz and Goku's death. So after Goku dies, he goes and he asks King Yema a favor. He basically says, well, I want to get to know Raditz more. I want to know him better. I want to see if he can be redeemed. And so King Yama's like, well, okay, Goku, you saved the Earth a few times already. You can do it. Go ahead. Here's Raditz. He's got his body back and everything. Um, so Goku and Raditz, they go on their way to Snake Way together. And so, Raditz and Goku along the way, it's a long journey from one end to the other of the snake. And so he they both talk to each other, they both explain, their life stories basically. Raditz's is more so, conquering planets, mass murder against aliens and stuff like that, selling planets. The usual Frieza Force and other Frieza soldiers and everything. It's the normal for him. It's what he's been doing for most of his life at this point. So he's not really phased by it. And Goku's like, why? You know, why are you so unfazed by this? And he's like, I've been doing it my whole life. And then he kind of explains everything, you know and Goku eventually asks about his family, if they had like parents and stuff, and if they had any other siblings. And Raditz is like, no, it's just them two. Their parents were Bardock and Gine, and Raditz is like, Kakarot, you actually look almost the same exactly as Bardock, you know, as their father, which is true. Goku looks almost the like a copy of Raditz, not Raditz, Bardock, right? Raditz and Goku look completely different, but same hairstyle, same look. Just like Bardock has a scar on his cheek and Saiyan armor, and Goku doesn't. But yeah, and Goku tells his life story up until that point, which was the entirety of original Dragon Ball, and the start of Dragon Ball Z. And, up until Piccolo killed them both. And Raditz ends up talking about Vegeta and Nappa. He just talks about them. He's like, okay, they're coming soon. We should probably train. And Kakarot's like, yeah, we should definitely train. We can go up here. And that's like the start of their journey, is around when they talk about that stuff. But I'm pretty sure that journey took him like almost a year just to get from one point, like point A to point B of Snake Way. And so that's a long time. And they're just talking, so they're kind of bonding. They're on friendly terms now. And so by the time they get to the King Kai's planet and they start training, remember, Raditz was stronger than Goku at this point in time when they were both killed by Piccolo. They they weren't at like a level playing field, and Goku wasn't stronger or anything. Raditz was quite a bit stronger. And so Raditz, he would train with Goku and King Kai. They'd be like training buddies. And so I think this would motivate Goku to train even harder and faster so he could get as strong and stronger than Raditz. And this would kind of not really motivate Raditz at all, but he's kind of having fun, seeing training with his little brother, and Goku's having fun training with his big brother. And it's nice, more bonding time. They basically get to like almost best friend point. Uh, and so you know, Raditz is still stronger than Goku. I mean, they both learn Kaioken, they both learn Spirit Bomb and everything like that. But Raditz, he started off way stronger, so he's still quite a bit stronger. But Goku is stronger than he would be in canon after this because he had extra motivation since he was training with Raditz. He had a training buddy. He wasn't just training alone. So yeah, that's why Goku would be stronger. Like he would be more comfortable using multiplied forms of Kaioken. He would be more comfortable with using them, so it wouldn't take as much of a strain on him, but it would still strain him because that's like the point of Kaioken. When Kaioken was introduced, it was like Kaioken times four was almost too much for him, and it kind of broke his body partly. So you know, but Raditz is it's not as much because he got Kaioken, but he can go higher. He can multiply it more times than Goku can, because he was already stronger from the get go, so he's a bit stronger with Kaioken. In like general stats, he's a bit stronger. So yeah, and another reason why he's stronger is gravity, because Raditz going around space and all different planets and stuff all the time, basically his whole life. He's much more used to different levels of gravity than Goku is. Goku's just used to Earth gravity. And so King Kai's planet, that gravity is nothing. Absolutely nothing to Raditz. He's used to it in a few seconds. So that gravity training thing at the start where Goku had to figure out how to run and walk properly on the planet, that doesn't happen with Raditz. He's just walking straight away. It's no problem for him. And so yeah, they end up learning everything together, and that makes them stronger. And so they go on their way after training time is finished. They go and right at the same time as Goku would go back to Earth in canon. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, he wasted some time, basically wasted some time on his way back because he had to get senzu beans from Korin's tower before he reached them in case his friends needed senzu beans. And instead of that happening, Raditz goes and gets the senzu beans, and Goku just goes straight to the battle. So he doesn't waste as much time. That means I, that means Piccolo would not actually have to have sacrificed himself. He was about to, but he didn't. It's like he ran up in front of Gohan, and Nappa was about to launch the beam, like he was in the process of launching it, and then Goku like flew in and kicked Nappa in like the side of the head, knocked him away, probably threw the beam into like a mountain or something by accident. So that still gives them the connection, Gohan and Piccolo, but it's not as strong of a connection as in the canon timeline. But they still had a strong connection from that, but that kind of boosted it, and so it's not as strong as canon, but it's still close, and that means Piccolo won't die, so there won't be no Earth Dragon Balls. So, it's like a win-win for Piccolo and the Earth because there's Dragon Balls. But Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, they're still dead as canon because Goku didn't come that much earlier. And yeah, so it's just Goku, Krillin, Gohan, and Piccolo versus Vegeta, since Vegeta, killed Nappa like before after Goku beat him up like in canon. So by then, not Nappa, Raditz. Raditz has come. He's given out some senzu beans, and this makes Goku's friends trust Raditz more. Because, Raditz didn't personally attack them or anything. Well, he did like punch Krillin out the way, but that's all he did to Krillin. He just really, caused Goku's death, kind of. Which, I mean, indirectly sort of he like it was a weird situation. Okay, you know what I mean if you've seen it. you know Goku held Raditz so he couldn't move out the way, and then Piccolo attacked him and killed him and Goku together. So you get what I mean. It's not entirely Raditz. Like Raditz didn't directly kill Goku. Like he didn't just like make his head explode or something. It was technically Piccolo, but Raditz was getting held in place, so it's both their fault really that Goku died. So you know the Dragon team or Z Fighters, whatever you want to call them, they are trusting more in Raditz, the ones that are still alive at least. So Piccolo is really hard for him to trust Raditz since he killed him, and so yeah, but it's a gradual thing. Krillin and Gohan, it's all like kind of difficult for them to trust him since he kidnapped Gohan. Yeah, Raditz was pretty bad to them, but eventually they trust him, and they trust him more because he gave them senzu beans. He healed them, and it wasn't like a trick or anything. So he helped them. He basically helped save them with Goku, and you know at this point, like by the time Raditz gets there, he took his time getting the senzu beans because he knew Goku could handle Vegeta, and if he needed any help, then by the time he got there, he could have helped him. And so yeah, he does help, he helps Goku so Goku doesn't get all his bones crushed by Great Ape Vegeta. It's like right before he grabs him, and he starts pummeling him really really bad. Um Raditz comes in with like let's say let's say Raditz and Goku kind of exchanged moves a little bit, like signature moves. It's like Goku taught Raditz the Kamehameha, and Raditz taught Goku his signature move. I don't remember what his signature move was called, but they both like taught each other their moves. So let's say Raditz, to kind of like make fun of his brother a little bit, he's like, "Well, you couldn't do this to Vegeta, but I can." It's also kind of like rub it into Vegeta's face. It's like, well, you can beat up my brother, but I'll still beat you up with his move. And so he does a Kamehameha in Vegeta's eye. Uh, so it's like the eye thing was. It's like Vegeta got hit in the eye, and then he got hit in the eye again. So he's like his eye is even more damaged, and if it didn't happen yet, then that same eye got damaged. So it's not like a huge difference to canon. But Vegeta's super angry. His eye is messed up, even more so, and then Goku and Raditz together go into Kaioken times four. Goku, this is kind of straining, and Raditz, this is a little bit, but it's more straining on Goku. And they together fight Great Ape Vegeta to the point where Gohan doesn't even need to go into like Great Ape and crush him. He doesn't need to do that. So you know they end up defeating Vegeta. They end up killing him, right? Yeah, I mean, like maybe, let's say they don't kill him. Okay, I mean, if they killed him, it would cause like so many differences of the story, but they don't kill Vegeta. Let's say, yeah, and I mean they're close to, like they are very close. They do like a, let's say Great Ape Vegeta jumps up at them, and they both in like Kaioken times four do a Kamehameha at Vegeta, and it blows him away. It's like the Kamehameha versus Gallic Gun clash that they did earlier in the fight with Goku, but it's both of them against a Great Ape, so it's like that times two for both. In a way, I guess that makes sense. So Vegeta falls to the ground. Let's say his tail got blown off during that whole encounter. And so, yeah, that's kind of how Vegeta survives. they almost kill him, but then Goku's like, no, no, don't kill him, Raditz, don't kill him. And Raditz is like, okay, okay, fine. And, he wants to kill Vegeta because Vegeta was really mean to Raditz. Vegeta and Nappa. I mean, you can tell they were very mean to Raditz just because he was weaker than them. So he kind of hates them a little bit. But yeah, I mean, after this, they go on with their lives basically, and yeah, it's it's what if Raditz turned good. So Raditz is good now, and everything else will be different. A lot of changes will happen, but those can be for the next parts of this series. And yeah, so this episode ends off at the end of the Saiyan saga because I don't want to make this video too long. Yeah, bye guys.